Welcome back to Mic'd Up the Game Changer edition. My name is Rachelle.
And I'm Liz.
And we are from TTB Media and Consulting. And today is our first episode of 2026, which is so
Woo!
exciting.
I cannot believe it's mid-January already, though.
I said that to someone. I was like, oh God, where'd it go?
2026 came in and then poof, January's half gone.
Yeah, which like in itself, I think is hard because for so many cheer gyms and dance studios, right now is the middle of their competition season.
Yes.
So I feel like we're now rolling into every weekend is a competition and it's busy. And like, I'll see you in April because that's when it slows down. And not
Exactly.
really, but
Well,
you get like a week break.
May is our relaxation month, really is how we put it. We get our vacations in, it's our new season, right?
Which I think coming into a new year, and especially because the cheer and dance realms are a little bit different because the annual year versus your season don't always line up.
Yeah, that's true.
But the importance of today, we are talking about marketing plans, and marketing plans really help structure your year and help set you up for growth outside of your season and outside of your programs, right? So looking at the whole aspect of your gym and how are you bringing in money? How are you bringing in leads? And then some other things that we'll talk about, but let's dive in. So
It's so funny though that we talk about how January's half gone. I find that when we follow the marketing plan, because we're going to talk about this, you're always a few months out. So it's like those calendar months speed by way quicker than you think. And having that plan really makes a difference as to how you can handle it for sure.
yeah, like I'm already thinking about next season. I'm already thinking about the All-Star package. When does it need to be launched? When do team deposits need to be put in? And all of the marketing aspects for all of our clients that need to happen for that. So yeah, I'm not looking at January. I'm actually 3 months out.
Right?
Which are like, I feel like makes it go a little bit faster even.
Yeah, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah. So marketing plans, I think it's so important to remember that you don't need to make it complicated. And actually, the more complicated you make plans, strategy, all of that, the more likely you are to take that plan, put it to the side of your desk and never look at it again.
It feels really overwhelming when you get right down into the nitty gritty. And I just find it's way easier and more important to break it down into those manageable chunks.
Mhm. Yeah. So if you have not read it, it is this lovely book. It's called The One-Page Marketing Plan by Alan Dibb. I read it every single year because it is such a good reminder to focus on strategy and to look at making marketing simple and really focused. And if you've read his second book, it's called Lean Marketing, and it comes from the Sigma lean manufacturing process of cutting out waste and extra resources that aren't efficient. But really what it comes down to is getting to the core of what you actually need to do. Because there are so many things that we like get shiny object syndrome and we'll be like, oh, let's do this and let's do that and let's do this. And all of these things add on, but they're not actually pushing our business forward. So your marketing plan needs to be simple and easy to read and easy to use so that you can actually move your business forward.
Yeah, absolutely. And I find that the more time you have to just do your initial plan, like even if it's just 5 minutes compared to a half hour. 5 minutes, you can jot down some ideas. You don't have to put dates to them yet, but at least get that ball rolling where you're starting to come up with some ideas of, okay, in October, we do our annual trunk or treat. Oh, look, you've started your marketing plan. Like it's that easy to start it. And then once you get a little bit more time under your belt, then you can start to be like, okay, what weekend in October do I want to hold trunk or treat? And again, you're still not getting down into the nitty gritty. You're literally just breaking it up into those chunks that we were talking about just a few minutes ago.
Yeah. So one of the things that we like to tell our clients is to not put it in a place that's not easy to find. So if you're going to write it on a piece of paper, put it onto your wall, like put it on a whiteboard, tape it up on a wall so that you can see it. I also really like putting it into a Google Sheet because I think Google Sheets allow you to go back, adjust we're not going to be able to go to this lead generating event like a fall fair because we have a competition or choreography or something. So I find that that's easier than trying to like scratch out all the things on paper. And then if you do have directors or supervisor or managers or leads in your business, it also allows them to see it so that they can help you act on those things. So if you have a gym manager who books out all your events for the year, having access to that plan in a Google Drive where they can easily go in and see it, access it at any point, allows them to be like, okay, I know that these are the important events that have to be put into that. And then these are the other events we're going to do. And then they can schedule those. So putting in a spot that is, it's easy to find, it's easy to read, and it's easy to, if for example, you're someone who likes to print things, then it's easy to print or easy to type out. And so really the biggest thing, no matter what, when it comes to your marketing plan, the number one thing that you need to really define is who is your target market. And that comes down to age, gender, location, how much money they're bringing in, because that also depends on your type of programs. Are you a higher price program? You're probably not wanting people who are on a lower income because they're not going to be able to afford those programs. If you are a program that's looking for preschoolers, that's going to be very different than a program that's looking for teenagers or adults. So making sure it's really clear on that. And then other thing is like really knowing your customer. Like what do they do in their off time? What are things that they value? What are things that they want? And then also what do they need? Because what they want is not always what they need.
And I think that's important too, right? Like when we talk about who your demographic is, it's not just about the parents. It's about your well, we say kids because we work with kids, but depending on who it is that you work with. So for example, if you work in the youth sports industry, your client is not just the parents. You actually have two clients. You have the child who's coming in and you have the parents who foot the bills. So it's really important to understand the demographics of both of those clients for sure.
And other questions you can ask are things like what keeps them up at night? So, what are they worrying about? When they look at 5 years from now, what is their goal? Right? Which is really important when it comes to parents versus kids, because a parent's goal 5 years from now may be wildly different than what the kid's goal as an athlete is 5 years from now. So, making sure that you're having those conversations of, okay, Susie wants to be on a level 4 team in 3 years, but she only has a front row right now. Okay, that means that there's tumbling classes, there's private lessons, there's, cheer intensive camps that need to happen here to get her to that goal. But the parent on the other side is like, I want her to go to practice and I want her to smile. It's like, okay, two different goals.
Two very, very different goals for sure. And it's also about setting expectations with those goals too, right? That's great. In 3 years, you want to be on a level 4. Reality is, here's the hard work that it's going to take to get there, right? And that's where you have those conversations with them, like you mentioned. Okay, mom and dad, it's going to cost this in order to get Susie to her goal, kind of thing.
Which I also think is so applicable because we plan out all these things for our athletes. We plan out these things for our teams. But when it comes to our business, we'll be like, yeah, I'll just figure it out in 3 months.
Mm.
And that is like, you wouldn't go upgrade your routine without looking at the score sheet and seeing, okay, where can I improve this? Looking at judges' feedback, looking at the scores. The same thing, like a pilot doesn't go into a plane without a plan for the flight, or a surgeon doesn't go into the surgery without a plan of what I'm doing, right? So this marketing plan is that outline for your year. So if you have big goals and you're wanting to bring in 100 new athletes, you need to be using that plan so that you're actually setting up the tasks and events and activities that are going to get you to that goal. So some of those things we talk about a Google Sheet. So one of the way I like to do that is dividing it into columns and dividing it by quarters. So for January, February, and March, here are each of the things we're going to do. And then the next quarter, April, May, June, here are the things we're going to do. And there are 8 things that are really, really important when it comes to putting it into that. So we talked about your target market. That's number 1. Knowing who do you actually want in your programs? Who are you talking to? And the clearer you can get on that, the stronger your message is going to be. The second part is how will you reach out to them? How will you talk to them? How will you consistently and meaningfully make those connections. So that could be through email, social media, texting, SMS. It could be through Facebook ads, Google ads. Also,
Can also
when they come in, how are you following up with them, right?
it
And
can
what
also
are
be through a community outreach
yeah,
as well.
yeah.
That's another big one.
The third thing is revenue generating activities. So for each month and each quarter, looking at what are the specific revenue generating activities that are bringing your money in, right? And does that differ from session to session? Does it differ from season to season? So for example, we think about like this being the on season or the peak, right? We're bringing in tuition, we're bringing in tumbling classes, we're bringing in private lessons. In the summer, that revenue may dip a little bit in terms of your team side, but it may increase because you have summer camps, you have new season registrations, you have holiday clinics or camps, you have tryout fees. So marking down when that money is coming in and then making sure that you know how much money needs to come in from those revenue generating activities to cover the bills. So we're not paying Peter to cover Paul. Or what is it? What's the saying? I never get it right.
Robbing Peter to pay Paul. I had to
There
think
we
about it.
go.
It's been a while since I've heard that saying.
Yeah. Okay, so the fourth action is lead generating activities, which Liz, I know you love these things.
I do love these things. So the lead generating isn't about making money. Money is more like a bonus for these. So when we talk about our revenue generating ideas, a lot of the times they can be one-off events. And those one-off events, that's where your leads come in. So for example, I'm just going to pull our trunk or treat. So our trunk or treat, we have a small fee for it. It just helps cover the costs of running the event. It's not about making a profit, but it is about getting those names into our email system, having those people come into our gym to see, basically have a gym tour while having fun. We do up little, trick or treat bags for them. And in the trick or treat bag, in goes information about our programs. So, and then we can do our follow ups. So it's not about the money aspect, but it's about having those contacts that we can reach back out to. We have the ages of their children because of the waiver forms. We have the names of their children. We know when their date of birth is. We can market birthday parties to them. We can market preschool classes or pre-competitive teams or summer camps, something like that. The lead generating events, they're huge in our gym. The biggest challenge with those is making sure you do that follow up. So having those email marketing campaigns, the automations already done for you is a huge help, but you also want to add that personal touch. We have a staff member who actually calls people and says, "How is the event? What did you think? Great." And just kind of keep that conversation going. Not necessarily about selling, but it does open that door if the parent has questions about it at that time. They're pretty good.
That's also a really good way to also get feedback about the event really quick. Like, hey, this worked really well, or like something that maybe we didn't notice that the parents noticed. But also, that's a really great opportunity where if they had a great time to ask for a review and like, hey, I had an incredible time. Do you mind if I use that? Or can you send me an email with a review that we can use? That would be like incredible. That'd be awesome. We, rely on reviews and referrals to help grow our gym and let people know how incredible they had of a time, right?
Yeah,
And not
absolutely.
being afraid to ask for a review. Like,
I was going to say, yeah, also send them a Google link
yeah,
or a Google review.
yeah, lots of different
Yeah.
things there. Other lead generating activities would be like open houses. When you go to events like maybe a fall fun fair or another one that's like a spring fest that I know Liz, your area does, things like Santa Claus parades, having QR codes, having things that are easily able to hand out so that you can get them on that list. We've also done like a birthday contest where they enter in to win a free birthday. But the other one in terms of cheerleading and dance is a downloadable packet for your season.
Mm.
That is huge. People want to know about scheduling, about prices, about tryouts. It's a great selling aspect for you to use and get them into your marketing funnel, which then you can follow up those email automations like you talked about, where then you now are selling your program, talking about what you are, and then giving them that information. And then their email is on your list so you can follow up with them.
The biggest thing about having that information in downloadable form, you want to make it as easy as possible for the person to get the information. You literally just want their name and their email address. That's it. Maybe a phone number if you want, but you don't need it. You know, and a lot of people will shy away when they have to put their phone number in because the first thing they think of is, oh, I'm going to get phone call after phone call. Whereas most people understand when you put an email address in, you're probably going to get email follow up. But at the very least, it'll add them to your email list and it gives you an idea of what they like. I know with our email automations, it puts a tag on it that lets us know what they downloaded. So we know what to contact them about. If somebody's downloading our full season packet, well, we're not necessarily going to contact them about preschool classes. We already know that they're interested in teen year kind of idea. So definitely make it easy.
Okay, the fifth one is holiday and seasonal trends. So in that marketing plan, you have the different things. So making a column for each one. So having revenue generating activities, lead generating. Now you're having holiday and seasonal trends. So things like, are you offering a summer pass? Back to school promotions, knowing when in November you're having to do Black Friday. When are you launching your holiday catalogs? When are you having your Christmas sales? Having an idea of where you want to put those in now. So, like, we're going to start offering a summer pass in May because in June, July, and August, now the kids are going to start to get out of school. They're going to want to do things, and then parents can go take classes. Or a back to school promotion, you're wanting to market that in August so that as they come into that, they're thinking about school, they go to school for their first week and they're like, now I need to fill my activities. So having an idea, it gives you a starting point. And like Liz said before, it's not about having specific days right now planned out. Have rough timelines. Like, okay, I want to launch this now. It's going to run from now to now. And it's just the months. So just put in for right now. I want to launch it in August. The actual promotion is going to run all of August and September. Okay, the next one is number 6 is monthly marketing focus. So another column to add to your plan. So things about each month that you're doing, having a clear focus. So summer camp launches in January and early bird pricing is available until March 1st. So we're going to run a Facebook and a Google ad. That's you've decided an idea of what it's going to be, right? In April and May, we're getting into the new season. We need to be marketing tryouts and setting those so that your staff or yourself, if you're the person that does the marketing, you have that, okay, this is exactly what I need to focus on in that month. The 7th one is community building events, which Liz, I know these are like your favorite to do.
These are my absolute favorite. The community events are things like Canada Day celebrations. If you can get in with your Chamber of Commerce or your city or town and get a booth at the Canada Day celebrations. We have two communities. We're in one community, and our secondary community is like 10 minutes down the road. We like to do both of those events. So we just put two staff members at each booth. Again, it's not a revenue generating thing, it is a lead generating thing, but we also set up an interactive booth. And we set that up because that's how we're really going to get leads in. So at events like that, at our gym, we also do parkour. So we tend to bring in outdoor parkour equipment. So just like a couple of Tic Tacs, some stepping stones, a little mini wedge mat, that kind of thing, just to get the kids interested in it. We started 2 years ago. We get parents to sign a waiver form, which is actually kind of smart when you're at these events because you don't really have all this safety. Like you don't have your sprung floor, you're working on pavement or grass or something like that. So we have parents fill out a waiver form for the kids in order to do the obstacle course, the mobile obstacle course. It also puts them in our email marketing, which is fantastic because now we can market to them. But in the meantime, it gives us their name and their contact and all that kind of stuff. Having their kids have fun at those events draws the parents in. When the child's doing the obstacle course, you've got another staff member who's talking to the parents. These are our programs. We'd love to have you out. This is an upcoming event. So we always make sure that we have flyers there, little takeaways. If we have, if they have a bag or if they don't, we can offer one kind of idea to help them collect things. Because usually at these events, they'll go around to the different booths and pick up all this information. One of the events that we do that our city used to do is a club expo. They did that before the lockdowns and then they never brought them back. So about a year and a half ago, almost 2 years ago now, I decided to bring it back. So we now run it and we invite all of the local clubs. It doesn't have to be about kids. It could be pickleball. It could be dragon boat racing. It could be cheer. It could be dance. It could be multiple dojos. We invite all of the clubs we can think of. We go to one central area and it's like a one-stop shop for parents and kids to wander through. That's also another great one. We don't put out our mobile obstacle course about that one because it's not the focus. The focus is for families to be able to go through and check out all the different clubs that our city has to offer. So that's a really awesome one. And again, if you can get information, one of the things we do there, Rachelle mentioned, one of the things that we do is we offer a draw for a free birthday party. If that's not something that you feel like your budget can handle right now, you can still have them opt in to win something, whether it's a couple of passes to a daytime event or a one-off event, something that's a little bit easier for your budget to pad. I highly, highly recommend it. Again, you just need their name and their email. We have it attached to our website, so they just scan a QR code and enter. But if you don't have that, you can do it pen and paper, get their phone number as well. Make sure it's legible so
Very
that you
important.
can actually contact the winner. But those one off events, the community events, they're always a great way to market. The other thing I cannot stress enough is some of these events are not even about revenue or leads. It's about getting your name out into the community. So we've done events where we've done a warm up for a walk before. So there was like a 5K walk. We went, warmed up all the people, and then they went and did their fundraising walk. We sponsor different things. We sponsor walks. We do fundraisers for the local hospice, the local food bank. So sometimes those events aren't about they're for intrinsic value. They're not about money in your pocket. They're not about getting people in the gym. It's just about doing good things for your community and getting your name out there.
Yeah. The other thing, just thinking really quickly about those like fairs and that sort of thing, really look at the programs that you're wanting to push and then use those as your activity. So, for example, Liz is really pushing her parkour program. So she takes her parkour stuff. You could also, as a cheerleading gym, take athletes and go stunt and then have people learn to stunt. We've done that before. If you want to push your tumbling, have people tumbling on like a little strip. Like you can bring an air track, those are easy to set up. You can bring a couple panel mats. You can also, if you have like little travel mats, like I know Liz, you've got like specific mats that are,
We do. We call them our travel mats. And it's a set of 4 panels, so we can either put them together as a square for stunting, or we can lay them all out for a tumble strip.
yeah. And so that's a great way where it's like really look at what you're wanting to promote and then take things to do that. Dancers, you have them create like a little routine or do like their specific tumbling to grow or like the like contortion type acro moves, which like I could never do. My shoulders and my body would never be able to do that. But yeah, so these events are all about really strengthening relationships in your communities and getting your brand out there. So that's your community building events. The last one is probably just as important as all the other ones. So we talk about bringing in all these new people. You do not want to forget your current customers. Building loyalty and celebrating those families are super, super important. So when you're creating that, create another little column that says member only appreciation events. So this could be things like pin and sign making before you go to a competition, could be VIP events that are specific to your customers, exclusive perks. So like they get to sign up for everything 24 hours in advance. If you're a member and you sign up for this program, you get this extra thing. It could be that it's open gym. Like some gyms will be, if you sign up for a season 14 team, you get open gyms included for the entire year. So little things that how are you showing your customers that you appreciate them, you appreciate their business, you appreciate their time and the love and commitment that they put into taking their kids onto a team, to your studio, all of that. How can you show them, once a quarter, or if you like to do things, smaller things throughout, we'll also do like a parent appreciation week, just like
I was
one specific week where it's just, we love on those parents to show them how much we care. Another thing, Liz, that I absolutely love that you do is you do your Starbucks gift card for
I
competition.
do, yeah. So it's an idea I got from a business mentor that I had. And So I load up a Starbucks card. It's not a whole lot of money. I did increase the amount last week because the prices have increased, but I put $150 on a Starbucks card. I share the code for it so that families can just scan it at Starbucks. And I put it in a post on our family band. I usually do that 1 or 2 times a year. I do not do it very often. It is not something that is continuous, but the $150 goes out with a post. It's appreciation. So, for example, I do it at the last competition, the big competition, like nationals or something. I'll put it out there and say, hey, parents, coffee's on us, for your early morning or as a thank you. But here are the rules. And keep it reasonable, like one drink per parent kind of thing. It's not for the kids. You don't want to order the $20 Frappuccino extra whip, no foam, all that kind of stuff. You just keep it simple. And when the funds are gone, it's gone. And then I take the card back off the band page because I will load it up in anticipation of the next one.
Other thing you put in there too is that they can also add funds on.
I do. I do put that in there. And sometimes people do that. They'll just like put a $10 on or $5 on or something like that. And it just kind of keeps it going. The last time I did it, they didn't even use all the funds. So somebody added more funds and then they didn't even use all the funds. So there was still a little bit left over, which was kind of fun. But yeah, it's just kind of one of those things that it's such a huge boost to the parents' morale. They were like, I'm going to go get Starbucks this morning. Like my child had a 7 a.m. call for competition and I'm going to go get Starbucks and then come back. So it's a nice little perk for them
I
for
woke
sure.
up at 4 a.m. and had to deal with a cranky child because I had to do hair and makeup, and I need just a little bit of caffeine.
Because they're 6 and we're doing a day trip. I don't know how those parents do day trips with little ones. No, thank you.
I
I
am a
don't want to wake
hotel.
my I don't want to wake my child up at 4 a.m. to get on the road.
I'm an open athlete, and I get a hotel.
We are in an area that there are no competitions around us, so we consistently have to travel 2 hours or more to get to a competition, and I would not wanna do a day trip for that one. The Parent Appreciation Week, we do that. Usually that's done in the fall, and we do a different thing every day of the week because we try and hit up all of our parents, and it's not just about our competitive parents. It's about our recreational ones as well. So on a Tuesday night when we have tumbling and parkour in, then those parents, as well as the cheer teams who are in, get the goodies. So whether we get cupcakes from the local bakery, maybe we're giving out like little, like, maybe we brought in a 12-pack of coffee, like a couple of 12 packs of coffee from a local coffee shop. Sometimes it's about like a little gimme pin, pens we've given out. We've done manicures where they can come in done. We've always wanted to do like the little like 10-minute massages, and we haven't been able to find anybody who has a portable chair, which is really too bad. But that's like my goal is to find somebody who can do that for our parents. Then you just come get their shoulders rubbed, and kind of ease out some of that tension while their child's in class. Those are really great things to do.
I love it. And anything that can really build loyalty, right? And things that like maybe your families are interested in might be very different than another province, another state, even another town.
Yeah.
And gym to gym, even if you have multiple gyms in the same thing, you may not have the same target audience, which is like we go back to the very first thing that we talked about. Like,
There is a city in Ontario that has 3 large gyms in it, and the city itself is not that large, and all 3 gyms are successful because they focus on a different demographic. This gym focuses on the younger ones, this gym focuses on the youth, and this gym has world's teams. And they all coincide, they all fit. Yeah. One of the other things that we did last year, I believe, was the first year we did it, and it's a huge hit. We have parents who wore them again this year, but we got little Mardi Gras beads in our gym colors, and parents were like, they were thrilled. I think I got like this big container of 100 necklaces for like $20, and they're still wearing them. Like they wore them to competition this year. We gave them out last year, so we're doing that again this year.
yeah,
Kind of fun.
I love it. Okay, just to kind of wrap up the different things. So there are 8 really core things. You can expand on this in our marketing plan. There's a lot more to it, but to make it simple, these are the 8 things that you want to include in it. 1, a clear target audience. 2, a strong communication strategy. 3, revenue generating activities. 4, lead generating activities. The fifth one is holiday and seasonal trends. The sixth is the marketing focus that you're going to have for each month. The seventh is community building events that you want to go to throughout the year. And the last one is member only appreciation events that you want to help build a loyalty within your families. Okay, so now is your turn. It is to take 30, 60 minutes to set aside, really break down every month, write something down for each of these things. It can just be in an Excel sheet, put it in for each month, put them into different columns, and then type it out. The most important thing is you don't want to just like write it on a piece of paper and push it to the side. If you write it on a piece of paper, tape it onto the office wall, put it in a shared Google Drive, talk about it often so that you can easily look at it and review it. Because creating a plan is one thing, but actually using it is a whole other thing. And this is meant to set you up for success and help you accomplish your goals. So make sure that you're going back and using it.
So, one of the things I wanted to point out, if you are on our email list, you will notice that that email with all 8 things listed out with examples got sent to your inbox. And if you're not on our email list, let's have you join it so that you can get some really cool ideas like this right in your inbox.
Yeah, because this year is all about gyms growing and gyms having more success. And that is like our big thing. That's the only thing that we want to do this year is help more gyms grow. So that is the wrap up for our first episode of 2026. If you have any questions, you need help creating your own custom marketing plan, make sure to send us a DM. It's TTB Media _consulting on all of our platforms, or send us an email at help@tbmedia.ca. But other than that, I'm Rachelle,
And I'm Liz.
and have a wonderful rest of your day.